Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me again. Today I am showing you the most important thing ever in makeup, and that is how to blend. So we are going to be blending eyeshadow to create this kind of basic smoky look. Once you have this technique down, you can create any look you want. So I'm starting with a kind of natural tone and I'm taking it through the socket. And I'm pushing right into that socket. A lot of people make the mistake of applying the shadow slightly above the crease, but you literally want to push that brush right into the socket in between your eye and the brow bone. I'm going backwards and forwards like windscreen wipers, literally around my eyeball. I'm sorry, that's a horrible way to describe it, but that's the way it is. I'm using a bigger, fluffier brush to buff out the eyeshadow. You'll notice I'm doing circles with this. This makes the blending wider. So when you get that kind of smoky area that's just on the brow bone, that's because you're blending out with a bigger brush. I'm taking a deeper colour now, and again we're really pushing this into the socket. Notice how I'm coming in with a brush straight forward. I'm not coming in at an angle. Otherwise, that's going to give us a really harsh line. And again, I'm buffing out that eyeshadow. I'm using two brushes. The first one you'll notice is a very small one. And then the bigger brush is like for more blending, basically. I'm now going to pat this white eyeshadow right onto the lid. Patting builds up the colour a lot more. Whether you're using a sponge applicator or a hairbrush, just tap that colour onto the lid. Don't rub backwards and forwards, otherwise you'll lose the pigmentation off your eyeshadow. Just push into that base that you've applied to the lid. I'm using a clean blending brush to gently fade that out so we don't have any harsh lines. Now I'm taking a small pencil brush, so a very finely pointed one, and I'm adding black in a triangle shape to the outside corner of the eyelid. I use this as kind of my pencil, and then I'll take a blending brush and use that as my eraser. So the eraser almost blends out the colour, and with this pencil brush you're just kind of adding the colour where you want it. I'm taking that blending brush we used before, and I'm using the side of a brush to gently fade out this black. Again, you can see I'm not going any higher than the socket, I'm pushing right into that crease. The trick to blending is just to keep going until you're satisfied with a smoky effect. Obviously, the more you blend, the smokier it's going to get. The bigger the brush, the wider the blend is going to be, and the smaller the brush, the more precision you're going to get. Here are some of my top tips for blending. Don't hold the brush too close to the hairs. The closer to the hairs you hold the brush, the more dense the colour you're going to get. So by holding the brush right at the end, I'm talking about the end without the hairs, the lighter the blend is going to be. Come in at this angle to your eye. This is going to give us an even blend throughout the socket. If you wanted to create more of a defined cut crease, you can come in at this angle. This will give you a bold line along the socket, but blended onto the brow bone. The best motion for blending is backwards and forwards, and then circling the brush backwards and forwards. I hope this helped you guys out. If you want me to do a video that's a little bit more in depth, then please let me know. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.